In this video, we will find the missing interior angles of a polygon. We will apply this to different polygons from triangle to hexagon, covering both regular here and irregular polygons with plenty of examples. We will use this formula, which is n minus 2, the whole thing multiplied by 180 degrees, which works for any polygons, where this n is the number of the sides of the polygon. If you ever forget this formula, there is an easy way to remember it. Just split the polygon into triangles, then multiply the sum of the interior angles of a triangle by the number of triangle you get. For example, let's say this square, you can split it into two triangles. Each triangle has a sum of 180 degrees. For example, if you start from this vertex, you can split it to two triangles. So the sum of the interior angles of this square, which is the sum of these six angles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And since you have two triangles, then the sum of these angles is 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Therefore, the sum of interior angles of this square is 360 degrees because 2 multiplied by 2 triangle. So we know the sum of interior angles of triangle is 180 degrees. So 2 multiplied by 180 degrees equal 360 degrees. If you want to think about like this, if you don't want to remember this formula, and the same thing for this one, you can split it to 1 and here to there. So you have three triangle. So the sum of interior angles of this pentagon, three triangle multiplied by 180 degrees, and if you multiply them, you will get 540 degrees. So let's delete now this. So if you don't want to remember this formula, you can remember just to split a polygon into triangle. As we know, irregular polygons has all sides, like here all sides, this equal this equal this equal this, and in this one this equal this equal this equal this equal this. So the sides are equal and also the angles are equal as well. This equal to this equal to this, and the same thing for the rest of these polygons. If even one side or angles is different, the polygon is irregular polygon. Like here, you can see here 90 degrees, 40 degrees. So this is of course not regular polygon. Here the shape at the top are regular polygons, while the shape at the bottom are irregular polygon. Here irregular polygon. Let's start with this regular triangle. As you can see, all its sides and angles, this one, and this one, are equal. The specific name for this regular triangle is an equilateral triangle. Now, what is the value of this x here or here or here? What is the value of this x? To find it, we first compute the sum of interior angles of this triangle. Then we compute this x by dividing the sum by the number of angles. Let's solve it. We know the sum of triangle is 180 degrees, but I will use this formula. Since here we have three sides, so we have to substitute n equal 3. So 3 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees, which is equal 3 minus 2 equal 1. So 1 multiply 180 degrees, it will be 180 degrees. Now what is the value of this x? It's very simple to find this x. Since we have three angles and the sum is 180 degrees, so x equal the sum over the number of the side. N is the number of the angles or the number of the sides. The sum here 180 degrees, and since we have three angles, so divide by 3, 180 degrees divided by 3, which is 60, because 18 divided by 3 6, and 0 you put it here, so 60 degrees. Now, how can we compute this x? Exactly the same way as we did here. So we have to write the sum equal, and here we have four angles or four sides. So we have to substitute here 4. So it will be 4 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. It will be here 4 minus 2 equal 2. 2 multiply 180 degrees. It will be 360 degrees. Now, what is the value of this x? Exactly the same as we did here. So we have to write sum over n, but I will write it immediately. So the sum here, 360 degree divided by 4, because here we have 4 angles. So 4 to find this x, because all of them are equal. So 36 divided by 4, which is 9. And here you have to put this 0 here. So it will be 90 degrees. Now, what is the value of this x? Exactly the same as we did here. So here, the sum. Now, exactly as we did here. So we have to substitute here n with 5, because here we have 5 angles or 5 sides. So it will be 5 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees equal 5 minus 2 equal 3. 3 multiply 180 degrees, which is 540 degrees. Now, what is the value of this x? Equal. Now, how can we find this x? Exactly the same as we did here. So we have to write the sum over the number of the angles. So 540 divided by the number of angles, which is 5. 540 divided by 5, it's like 500 degrees over 5. So we can split 540 to 500 plus 40 in the numerator. So it will be plus here 40 divided by 5. And this one, 500 degrees divided by 5, it's equal 100 degrees plus 40 degrees divided by 5, which is 8 degrees. 100 plus 8 degrees, so it will be 108 degrees. So I will delete this. I will write here immediately 108 because I don't have space here. So I will delete this and I will write here 108 degrees. 108 degrees. Now, how can we find this x? Exactly the same as we did here. Here we have hexagon polygon. This hexagon polygon has 6 angles and 6 sides. So we have to substitute here n with 6. So the sum equal 6 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees equal 6 minus 2, which is 4. 4 multiply 180 degrees, which is 720 degrees. So 4 multiply 180 degrees, it's equal 720 degrees. Now, what is the value of this x here? We have to put the sum, which is 720, the sum over the number of angles, which is 6, equal exactly as we did here. We can do it here. It's like 600 degrees divided by 6 plus 120 degrees divided by 6 and 600 degrees divided by 6, which is 100. 120 degrees divided by 6, which is 20 degrees, and here 100 degrees. So the answer for this one, it will be 120 degrees. Now let's delete this one and write here 120 degrees. 120 degrees. Of course, here you can use long division or calculator to find it, but this way I think it's easier to think 720 like 600 plus 120 degrees, each one divided by 6, and you will get this answer. So every angles here is 120 degrees, and the sum of the interior angles is 720 degrees. So each angles here is 120 degrees. So all of these are 120 degrees, and the same here in this pentagon. Each angles here is 108 degrees. This angle 108 degrees, and the rest here, this shape here, this x equal 90 degrees. So here it's 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Of course, this shape is a square. Why it's square? Because all interior angles is 90 degrees and all the sides are equal. And here, of course, we have 60 degrees. this 60 degrees, 60 degrees. So we compute all of these regular polygons. I really recommend for you to pause this video to find all of these x here, 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 and here. I assume now you compute all of these x. Now let's find this x exactly the same as we did here. I will use this sum to find this x. Okay, so here, as we know, the sum of this triangle is sum. Of course, you can use this formula, but I will copy it from here. We have already done it. So 180 degrees, the sum of the interior angles of this triangle. Now, what is the value of this x? Now we have to find different, not like here. Here, all of these angles are equal, but here they are not equal. So how can we compute this value of this x? We have to say sum minus these angles, 90 degrees plus 40 degrees. We know the sum is 180 degrees, so instead of this, we have to substitute 180 degrees. And here 90 plus 40, which is 130 degrees. Now 180 degrees minus 130 degrees equal 50 degrees. So the value of this x is 50 degrees. Now here we have quadrilateral polygon. How can we compute the value of this x? Exactly the same as we did here. We have to write the sum of this four sides polygon. So here we have to write the sum equal, we know the sum of these interior angles. If we use this formula, we'll get 360 degrees, exactly the same as here. We don't need to write it here because we have already done it here. So you have to copy this one here, which is here 360 degrees. Now to find this x, we have to write it like this: x equal 360 degrees, exactly as here. We have to write here the sum. Here I didn't write here sum, I substitute immediately 360 degrees minus the sum of the left angles here, which is 50 degrees, 50 degrees, 130 degrees. So 50 degrees plus 50 degrees plus 130 degrees. And this here equal 360 degrees minus 50 plus 50, 100 plus 130, it will be 230. So the answer of this 230 degrees. So here I have to write 230 degrees. 360 minus 230, it will be 130 degrees. So instead of this x, we have to write 130 degrees. So the value of this 130 degrees. As you can see here, the shape called rhombus, because all the side here, this equal this equal this equal this, all the side are equal and opposite interior angles are equal. Here 50 50, 130 130 degrees. So this shape is called rhombus. Now how can we find this interior angles, which here is x? How can we find this x? Of course, here we have 5 angles, and of course here we have 5 sides polygon. This called pentagon, exactly the same as here. So the sum is 540. Since we have 5 sides or 5 angles, we have to write the sum equal, exactly, we have to substitute like this: 5 minus 2 and the whole thing multiply 180 degrees, it's equal 540. So here I have to write 540. Now, what is the value of this x? To find the value of this x, we have to write 540 degrees minus the sum of interior angles left here. So 540 degrees minus the sum of interior angles left here. So 130 plus 130, it will be 260 degrees, plus 90 plus 90, it will be 180 degrees. Now, here it's like 200 plus 100 is equal 300. 60 plus 80 equal 140. So 300 plus 140, it will be 440 degrees. Now, if we subtract 540 minus 440, it will be 100 degrees. So the value of this x equal 100 degrees. Of course, this shape, it's like a house. So here in the top roof, the angle here is equal 100 degrees. Now, how can we find this x? To find this x, we have to know what is this polygon. Let's count the number of the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since it has 6 sides, the sum of interior angles of this polygon is 720 degrees. Exactly as we did here, we have to use this formula. We have to substitute here 6. 6 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees, it will be 720 degrees. So the sum here, the sum equal 720 degrees. So how can we find this x? Exactly the same as we did here. The value of this x equal, to find this x exactly as we did here, the value of this x equals 720, the sum, minus the sum of interior angles left here. So 90 plus 90 plus 120 plus 270 plus 40. Let's add this with this, which is 180 degrees. Because we don't have space, I can write them, but it's very easy. 90 plus 90 is equal to 180 degrees plus 120 degrees plus, I will add this with this because to make it shorter, 270 plus 40, which is 310 degrees. Now the answer here, 720 degrees minus, of course, this plus this equal 300 degrees. And here we have 310. So 300 plus 310, it's equal to 610 degrees. So the answer, 720 degrees minus 610 degrees, it's equal to 110 degrees. So the measure of this angle is 110 degrees. So it's very simple to find the value of this x if you know this formula, or if you know that the polygon can split into triangle. Then if you split it into triangle, you have to count how many triangle you have. Then if you have, for example, like here, if you split it from here to here and from here to here, you will get 3 triangle. Since you have 3 triangle, 3 multiple of the sum of interior angles of triangle, so it will be 3 multiplied by 180 degrees, so it will be 540 degrees. So it's very simple to find the value of this x if you know this formula. And it's obvious that in regular polygons, all of the angles are equal, and for a regular polygon you have to find the value of this x. Like here, you find it like sum minus the sum of interior angles left in a polygon. That's it. I hope this video illustrates clearly how you can find the missing interior angles of a polygon. So did you find this helpful? If so, like, share and subscribe for more math video. Feel free to comment below if you have any question or suggestion about this video. See you in the next video.